It's Wellness Wednesday, and today we are focusing on our mental well-being. Are you living your best life? Are you unhappy or burnt out, but you don't know how to change things? Well, our next guest is Cassandra Crawley Mayo, author of the new book, Is Your Way in Your Way? She has more questions for you to use to empower yourself to live your best life. But first, here's her story.
Working in corporate America for 30 years, what I found that I was the first African-American female in my position. And I loved what I was doing, but later on in my career, there was a lot of apprehension. And what I mean by that is just being true to myself. I was really struggling with that. Also, it resulted in behaviors and barriers that was preventing me from living my best life. And, in retrospect, I realized that even though my job was fulfilling, but I was neglecting myself. I was dealing with self-sabotage, imposter syndrome, even burnout that I was dealing with. And I realized that if I wanted to thrive in my life and not just survive, I had to do something about it. And that's when I realized something was definitely wrong.
What types of behaviors did you see? What types of barriers were you experiencing that maybe some of us could be looking for?
Well, what I realized that all of my barriers were self-imposed. For example, like self-sabotage, using the word if and I should have, maybe I should have done this and maybe I should have done that. And that to me was hindering me from moving forward because I started doubting myself. Even with the imposter syndrome, I started questioning whether I had the skills to do what I was doing. I was so busy being concerned about what other people thought. And also even just dealing with my own inner feelings, going over and over about, am I not good enough? And then on top of that, based on that internal struggle that I was having, I was burned out. I was literally burnt out. And I always say that the mental ability is you're more tied with the mental rather than the physical.
First things first, though, how do we know what our best life looks like? How do we know what we want for our best life?
Absolutely. The great question. And this is part of my framework on what I do with women is we talk about that. What's your best life for you? What is it that you always wanted to do? What are you stuck with? What are your toxic behaviors? So one of the things for me is I always wanted to write a book. And that's probably been 15 years ago. I wanted to write this book, never did, because who would read this book? Who wants to listen to me? And another thing, I felt I couldn't be true to myself. I didn't want to be exposed. So there's just certain things that you would like to do that will give you a peace of mind. And you have to sit down and we brainstorm that so that you can determine what your best life is. It could be, I want to get closer to family. Or I want to stay more in touch with my friends, or I want a certain financial documentation or something that's going to allow you. I want to travel more, or I want to make sure my kids are doing well in school. So you have to sit down and think about what your best life looks like. And then from that point, you determine what are the barriers that are preventing me from having my best life. And then from that, then we work on eliminating and mitigating those barriers.
Yeah, I think if anything, the last few years have made all of us realize we should be doing what makes us happy. We should be feeling our best and also surrounding ourselves with people that are there for us, right? How important is it to have the people with our best interests at heart?
That is extremely important. And I call it a personal board of directors. You know about corporations that have a board of directors. So they have a board of directors to make sure that the company is in the best interest of the people that they're serving. So I feel the same way about us individually. So it's very critical that you have the right people in your circle that can encourage you, can be truthful without being hurtful, that you can speak with, you have a confidant, and also association. I always say brings about assimilation. So I say that to say, if you have me look at your Zelle account, your Cash App account, then I can tell you what you value. If I see who your friends are and who you hang around with, then I can tell you who you will be in your future.
Some great ideas. We all deserve to live our best life. To learn more about Cassandra and her company, visit CassandraCrawley.com.